Well, state officials and college presidents and hundreds of their students are at the state capitol for Higher Education Day. They're promoting their initiatives for college degree completion and, of course, funding. And their hashtag for the day is Restore Higher Ed, which pretty much means restore the funding that's been cut over the last few years. So there's a lot of activity out here today.
Well, good morning and welcome to our press conference on our task force on the future of higher education. Given the changing landscape in Oklahoma higher education, not only from a funding standpoint, but from the standpoint of changes in technology and online education, the state regents felt it would be imperative to not sit back, but to come forward proactively and commission a task force to look at efficiencies, to look at operational outcomes, to look at the structure, to look at our academic products, and to make recommendations that would be recommendations that would take our higher education system as a system into this century and beyond.
We're not going to do this alone. There isn't an institution in the state that's going to be able to accomplish its goals in isolation from one another. And so there's a broad statement of collaboration that you find throughout the document. Secondly, it's a new era that requires new initiatives, new thinking, and new expectations. And the only way we get there is with the funding necessary to make that possible, but also harnessing the various bright minds that we have in the state in new mechanisms that we're not using at this particular point.
One of the things that we came up with, I think, that's so important is we need to look at ways through our system to improve and scaling efficiencies through consolidation and back office functions throughout our system. One of the examples that came to us was OSU President Hargis and your A&M system as you all went through a process of figuring out a way through the A&M system of handling all the back office functions in one place. You know, you think about that, it might look like it's a trivial thing, but if we actually take that and take that system-wide, think about the opportunities to take those things, consolidate those functions, think about the cost savings and the investment that we can make back in our students if we can just do a few things like that. Whether it's pencils or computers or technology, we have to learn to leverage the system that we have. We have a wonderful system in place, but we have to take advantage of those opportunities so we can invest more back in the students that are seated here today.
I mean, we need more advisors. We need more faculty. We need a lot of things at our universities, which we don't have. And if we can come up with ways to be more efficient and to share together, we really ought to do this about every 10 years because the opportunity to share and understand from different institutions, not just in Oklahoma, but from all over the country, and to try to implement that here in Oklahoma inures to our benefit. There's a myth that higher education wastes a lot of money. That wasn't true before, and it sure isn't true after about a 25% cut in our appropriations. So what we have to do is to come up with these new ways to operate, which better benefits our students, which will better benefit our state, and not to de-invest in higher education, but to invest. Because as I said yesterday at the Step Up rally, our future depends on it.
Higher education has sustained a 23% cut in our budget over the last 3 years, a cut of over $250 million. And we saw the legislation that was offered yesterday, the Step Up plan, quite frankly, as an effort to provide sustainability, to fix what has been an ongoing structural budget problem, and to provide revenue for target areas, and certainly from our standpoint in higher education, to provide some stability in revenue after multiple years of rather significant budget cuts that is hampering our ability to achieve our major responsibility, and that's to put faculty in the classroom, to give students like these students here today the chance to take courses on time where they will graduate in less than 2 years. The studies from Georgetown University show that 67% of the jobs in this state will require a long-term certificate or associate's degree. 37% of the jobs in this state will require an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, or higher. That's on us, and the only way we can deliver is to have the funding in order to have faculty in the classroom where our students don't have to wait for the courses they need to graduate. So we certainly were supportive of the legislation yesterday, supportive of our governor and our leadership that brought that bill forward. In terms of where we go from here, I think that's a question where, from higher education standpoint, we want to be involved in that dialogue. Certainly, this is the second week of the session, so we want to be engaged. We certainly want to take appropriate direction from our governor and our legislature in terms of the options that are on the table. But I think if you look at this, higher education has always been an active participant, an active player in these efforts over the last year, and certainly the efforts in the special session in November, where we came up a few votes short. I point to Representative Nolan. She's been supportive of these efforts all the way through the process. We were out here yesterday and before yesterday being as supportive as we could be of this effort, because it's a positive way, it's a path for budget sustainability going forward, and for all those reasons we were very, very enthusiastically behind the effort. It didn't pass. So in this legislative environment, you've got to regroup and look at what the options are, and we look forward to engaging as early as today with our governor and with the leadership on what those options are and how our system of higher education can be helpful and proactive in efforts to come up with a solution that will solve the problem.